Hello and welcome to Steps in the Storm. Before I get started, I want to thank you for joining me today on Steps in the Storm. And because we might be in a more contemplative state of mind at the end of this video, I would like to go ahead and get the promotional items out of the way. If you are interested, I have links in the description below to my blog, Theosis Along the Path, and to any web page that might be relevant to our topic today. I also have a link to my author website where you can view and purchase books I have written in another part of my life. And with that, let's get started. I was in a pretty good mood earlier today and I was taking my dog for one of her outdoor excursions. And while we were walking through our preferred grassy area, I was distracted by some children who were playing on the playground. And as I was watching them, more than watching where I was going, suddenly I felt an unusual sensation under my shoe. And looking down, I realized I had stepped in the byproduct of another dog's outdoor excursion into the same area where we were. Within a split second, my mood immediately changed, and without any restraint, expletives that I won't repeat here began rolling out of my mouth loudly and angrily. Then, most as quickly as the event itself transpired, I felt conviction in my conscience about the language that was coming out of me. But it was done and not retrievable. Yes, this seems like an insignificant event. No one got hurt, no one was offended, and the world continued to turn. I have suffered all my life with weight issues, and I am very conscious about it. I know I have habits that contribute to the condition, that probably caused the condition, but it is extremely difficult for me to control myself and to change the habits that have formed over a lifetime that I am referring to. Eating too much, eating the wrong things, and eating late at night. These habits are not actions that I always intentionally do, although choice is involved sometimes, but often they are pursued habitually when seeking relief from something else that is bothering me, whether it be stress, boredom, anger, or sometimes spite. But the negative action doesn't change. I am seeking some sort of satisfaction by doing something that I know is not good for me. And while immediate satisfaction is achieved, it is only momentarily and is usually followed by another negative feeling, regret. I know this series of events, but I still do them, and I do them over and over. Whether it be cursing, getting angry, consuming alcohol or drugs, smoking, driving too fast, or any of the multitude of bad habits or a Christian obedience that we ignore, we all humans are guilty of doing things that we wish we did not do. We realize it before we do them, and we know we shouldn't, but something in us drives us to do it anyway. It is a human condition that we all possess, and in one way or another, often repeated, only results in additional suffering with potentially worse or worsening consequences. We are all guilty of doing things we knew we shouldn't do before we did them, and many problems in our lives are caused by our own actions. I hope what I am saying will help someone who is listening to this broadcast come to an understanding that you are not alone. You may have habits that have caused great problems in your life or continue to do so at this moment. But I am trying to help you understand that you are not the only one. Everyone deals with their own conditions in some way or another. They may not be visible on the outside, and others may never know about them, but they are there in everyone. You are not alone. You are not the only one with problems. Please hear and understand this. Come to terms with the fact that you are a human being, no different from anyone else, other than the negative habit or habits of your choice. Get rid of the guilt and self-condemnation that you have refined to an art form. Get rid of the guilt and wrong idea that you are worse than someone else. You are not worse than someone else. They may have a bigger house and fancy cars to drive with jobs that allow them to have a significant amount of money, but they are not better than you. They suffer from their own problems that you are not aware of. In my occupation, I often find myself in nice upscale neighborhoods and in people's homes that are almost always bigger than mine. And I see lots of smiles on the faces of those who occupy those homes. And when exposed to these conditions routinely, it is easy to feel a little jealousy begin to stir inside of me, and I have to fight against it. Experience has allowed me to come to understand that I will never know what goes on behind those walls when I am not there, and the affluence of the family does not define their condition in life. We never know when we meet someone. We don't know what they are dealing with in their lives, what demons they are having to fight, or the pain that they might be experiencing, whether emotionally, spiritually, or physically. The only thing we can know for sure is that they are not perfect, and they have to deal with as many issues in life as we do. Realize you are a valuable person, and you have tremendous potential within you. You are a child of God, and He loves you no more or no less than any other. So now that we know and accept that we all have problems, it is time to own these problems or bad habits and start learning how to overcome or at least deal with them in such a way that they do not affect us too negatively. We must admit who we are. Yes, this is me, and this is something that I do. It is mine, and I must either own it and try to solve it, or ignore it and let it destroy me. Where do I start? There are counseling groups that meet in many manner of ways, and they have been known to help with the recovery of many people. So this is always an option. While I don't belittle or lessen their value, and if this is the first step you choose to address an issue in your life, then go for it. And I suspect that if you apply an appropriate amount of effort and time, you may find very well it was the answer. There is, however, an option, and it is another option, and it is the one that I prefer. That option is dropping to your knees and with all sincerity and honesty, confess your problem to God in prayer and ask for His forgiveness and help with overcoming your situation. This is the one solution that I can promise will produce results if you are sincere, and from that moment forward, turn your life over to Christ and make every effort to follow Him on a daily basis, period. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, we are told, "No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will always make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it." In Romans chapter 7, the Apostle Paul describes the difference between sin and humanity very well, and I will read it in the New International Version for ease of understanding's sake. "We know that the law is spiritual, but I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who does it, but it is sin living in me. For I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do. This I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is sin living in me that does it. So I find this law at work. Although I want good, evil is right there with me. For in my inner being I delight in God's law, but I see another law at work in me, waging war against the law of my mind and making me a prisoner of the law of sin at work within me. What a wretched man am I! Who will rescue me from this body that is subject to death? Thanks be to God who delivers me through Jesus Christ our Lord. So then I myself, in my mind, am a slave to God's law, but in my sinful nature, a slave to the law of sin. The Orthodox Bible commentary on this passage states, and I quote, "The passions driving us to sin get even stronger when we fight against them on our own, and the clarity of right and wrong found in the law increases the passions all the more. Only Christ's healing power can save us in the battle. Man is not sinful by nature. The Orthodox Church rejects any teaching that man has a sin nature or that man's nature is depraved to the core. This passage clearly shows that sin is something distinct from our nature. Because we are created in the image of God, there is an indelible goodness in our nature that can never be undone. While we can become immersed in sin, we know that it is still not part of our nature, but a foreign force that dwells in us. Thus, sin is what we do, not what we are." So that's it. Knowing what we need to do and doing it are two different things, but action needs to be taken. We all need to address these things in our life and apply efforts to address them with the assistance of God, through whom all is possible. Discussing this topic can continue indefinitely, but I hope what I have provided for you today is enough to help you better understand and begin to deal with some issues you might be facing. And I will leave it at that.